Right, good evening YouTube, or should I say good midnight YouTube. Right, just wanted to do a quick video. I haven't done one for a little while, so I thought I might as well post something. Just moving my camera around. I broke my plate. Better hide that from me old dear. She's a bit funny about stuff like that. I was going to just have another go at looking at this, which I reviewed before in a previous video. I'll stick it in a card or somewhere. You know, to charge your battery for your, well, Canon M100, but it's the LP, is it LPE12 battery? Should have looked before doing the video, shouldn't I, really? LPE12, let me just double check. It's that type of battery anyway. Goes with the Canon M100 and probably the other mirrorless camera range or M series range. Let me just grab a battery. I'm sure it's the E12. Let me grab one of my spare ones because I bought a couple just when you're out and about. Always good to keep or buy extra batteries to keep them charged. LPE12, I was right. I bought two of these on Amazon with a dedicated charger for about £7. These are 1400 milliamp hour, so it says. I wouldn't probably imagine that they are that capacity, but the one that comes with the Canon supplied is 800 milliamp hour. These are cheap, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're not actually that capacity. But yeah, back to the DC drive cable that I purchased. For my M100, as I said before, if you're mounting it or got your camera on a tripod, you have to be a bit careful as where your cable's coming from, and you know, the attachment that goes onto your tripod may or may not work for you. I got it to work for me, but it was a bit tricky. But the thing I have noticed with using this specific DC drive adapter is that a lot of the time some of the camera functions do not work or function. Like I just went to use it just now for this video, and none of the touchscreen functions worked. Like nothing was functional at all. The camera was working, I could press record, but nothing on the screen I could actually do anything with, like change aperture and that sort of stuff. And I just noticed it's a little bit buggy. So like, what was the other thing I found when I used it before? Yeah, you was able to sort of not use the touch screen on this camera specific, but you could use the buttons, you know, sort of cycle through your ISO, aperture and all that, and then change it from there. And it's just done a lot of weird stuff, like, which I can only account for obviously not being enough energy, like amps, or not enough voltage. Because this thing, where's the adapter? I don't know if I mentioned it on the last video, the review for this, but it's basically USB into like a DC to DC converter, which converts up to about 7 point something volt, and then plugs into the bottom of this, which then goes into your camera for the supply power. And as I say, it does work, it does function. It might be better on other cameras that maybe do not have a touch screen, maybe. But I just found it a bit strange and a little bit buggy. I suppose if you could buy a more expensive version of this type of device, it probably would work. Or you could make your own adapter and just use an external power supply and shove 7.2 or 7.6 volts down the clacker and power it yourself. So this part, really good, does work. A little bit finicky on depending on what camera or tripod you're using, but this bit was actually a good idea. The actual cable itself, as I say, clearly it's not supplying enough voltage for the camera to operate, or this camera to operate. I also had to use my Samsung USB charger, the actual the power source. I used a third-party charger, USB charger, and it didn't even power up the camera at all. So you have to have, what is it, I think a 2 amp, 5 volt 2 amp capable charger, like a fast charge. But I say the third party one I bought, actually I'll show you, it's down here, mind my head, and move the cable for my top lighting view. Yeah, this one I think I've not done a review of. I might actually open it to see how it's actually made, because it works for charging a phone and fast charge. But as I say, when it comes to use for this device, it couldn't power it at all. The camera didn't even sort of switch on, nothing on the screen at all. So, but it is rated for fast charge, so it should supply 5 volts, 2.1 amp. That should supply. It clearly didn't, because it didn't work with this this kit, and nor did the supplied power supply that you get with it. That also didn't work with this kit either. So if you do get this, or if you can buy that separately, I would say probably best to buy that separately and then power it yourself, because it's either the DC to DC converter that ups the voltage for the camera from 5 volts to 7 point whatever it is, or it's the actual adapter that's supplied that's not quite strong enough to give the amperage or voltage, whatever the camera needs. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick one. So it's kind of like a 3-month review. I don't use it a lot. If it works, if I can get it to work, which seems to be intermittent, or you just want to press the record button and not change any settings, it's pretty good. So my next video, I'm going to do another hard drive video. I'm just grabbing it out of sight at the moment. Yeah. And it's going to be the smaller type hard drive, so we'll have a look inside one of those next, and I might start doing it for Patreon, so this might be a Patreon video. So if you're not a supporter and you would like to be, head over to Patreon now. The links are down below in the description. There are no videos on there as of yet, but I'm going to start putting up, and I say might be the first one to do with tearing down a laptop hard drive. But anyway, I digress. So yes, my verdict on this particular product, I would say doesn't work, because the intended charger that came with didn't power my camera specifically, the M100. Whether it's the same for other cameras, I don't know. But it didn't work for me until I used a official Samsung mobile phone charger, which was originally for the S6 that I had, which seems to work, but tends to be a little bit buggy. Some of the functions on the camera are not able to operate. So I would say, again, if you could buy that separately and then plug in a power source yourself from a power supply, sort of dedicated 5 volt, sort of, you know, 5 amp maximum power supply, then it may work. And what I will do, again, a Patreon video, I'll actually have a look up. And like a virgin, not touched for the very first time, I mean on YouTube, I have 10 minutes on this camera, 60 frames a second, 1080 resolution, and I didn't have my screen flipped up on the camera, so I wasn't looking at the time. 12 minutes was the last video. Oops. So this is an addition to wherever I get to. I'll cut it in, you know, whatever. So yeah, final verdict on this product, so you guys can see the name and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I haven't got my other light next to me. So this is the raeisusp, RAEISUSP, available on Amazon, which is where I found it. Final verdict, idea really bloody good. Effectiveness, I'd give it like a 1 star, because the supplied power supply didn't actually work at all. Would I recommend it? Yes, if you're able to probably do what I'm going to do, which is mod this little device so you can add your own power supply, or maybe build your own power supply for it, then I'd say yeah, probably. So overall I'll give it like a 3 star, because I really do like the idea. The DC voltage converter thingy that's from 5 volts to 7 point whichever volts for the camera does actually work. Just need a strong power supply to supply it, because the one included doesn't seem to work at all. No power to my camera, nothing at all. I think it makes like a little sound with my camera, you know, when the lens kind of opens up at the front. It's like, that's about all it does with the power supply given to you with the unit when you purchase it. Is it worth like the £7 that I bought it for? I'd say so. But again, if you've got like sort of 3 or 4 batteries as backup, then may not be worth it. And obviously if you're outdoors, unless you've got a USB rechargeable power pack that you take with you if you do go out, might be an even better idea. Has to be a decent one though, none of this Chinese rubbish, because I say it does actually draw quite a bit of power, clearly, from several chargers that I've used, and some that didn't actually supply any power at all, and some that actually did, which was an official power plug pack for Samsung. So yes, I'd say probably worth getting for the price, and just having a look at it, mucking about with it, maybe mod it to your requirements. But I do like it, that's why I bought it. I thought I'd give it a go. So yes, so end of this video, and if I didn't mention it already, I'll just add it anyway. Patreon videos will be coming up in the next couple of days, and I'm going to be doing a teardown on a laptop hard drive to follow the other 2 videos I had done on a server grade serial attached SCSI hard drive and a standard SATA hard drive. Now this is still SATA, but obviously a lot smaller. So yeah, I'll tear down that and show you guys the insides of that, because it's a lot smaller, a lot more compact. I want to see the difference between this size and, you know, a standard desktop size hard drive. But those will be Patreon videos, and me modding this with a custom built power supply I'll probably do as a Patreon video as well. So if you'd like to see those, head over to Patreon, link down below. Become a Patreon. There'll be some videos up there. There isn't at the moment, but there certainly will be. If not, support me by buying me a coffee. That's good enough. Just show your support a little bit, and make me want to carry on making some more hopefully interesting videos and interesting content for you guys. So yeah, if you liked it, please subscribe. Thank you to my recent subscribers this week. I've gained another like 4 or 5, so I'm up to about 14 subscribers now, which is you know, it's all good. And as I said to those guys, I'm basically doing this in 2019 on YouTube. Oh, I just realised I've had this in manual focus. Yeah, bastard. Yeah, I'm doing this in 2019 just to test whether it's a viable thing to do in this late stages of YouTube. I mean, I've had my account since 2015, believe it or not, and I've only since last year started doing proper content. But a lot more have been restricted on YouTube now. But I just as a social test, I want to get as many subscribers as I can and as many views as I can, and see if it's something that you could probably start doing if you've got an idea or a project or something you want to share with you know, the rest of YouTube. So if you do want to support me on that, and in this social test, if you like, if you want to call it that. I mean, I'm just providing content because I like doing it. I'm not doing it for that reason solely, but still interesting to see. how it pans out and if it is plausible. So again, if you like this content, please subscribe, it helps a lot. Like the video, comment down below. I haven't had many comments as of yet, so please comment. Let me know, give me some ideas, you know, let me know on the content, what I've set up. Anything you'd like to see different. Is the vocals okay? I'm using a different system for my sound, because the M100 here has a built-in mic. Where I'm quite away from it, it doesn't quite catch my my voice very well. So I use my phone and a voice recorder and a one hung low cheapy lapel mic. So doing it on the cheap, obviously. I'm not bloody rich. So yeah, that's my tablet powering up. So yes, I better go. Lovely guys, thank you very much for watching. Spot on, and I'll see you next time.